Hello, guys. Welcome to this special Salcast episode called A Night Stroll with Sal. I don't know. I'm here at the golf course that I live nearby at night, and I'm taking a little stroll here, walking at night, clearing my head. I decided to record a podcast right now. It's about time. I need to record a new one. Uh, I decided to do once a week episodes. I'll explain a little bit why. But before I move on, I want to give a shout out to a friend. I didn't give a shout out last week. My friend Eric, good guy. He's a local artist here around the Houston area, Sugarland, Rosenberg, you name it. Met him when I worked at a gas station, Arby's in a gas station. Uh, one of my closest friends, and I mentioned that because he designed the logo of Southcast, the one you see. I wanted some kind of like neo-ish. I can describe it. I just wanted some kind of neo cyberpunkish look or something. I don't know, like something like that looked like it was from the 80s. Has I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but anyway, he designed the logo and it's exactly what I wanted. And I mentioned that because he's also just in general a great artist. He has this company, clothing apparel. I forgot the name. I think it's called Croak Apparel. I don't remember. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm sorry I don't remember. I know I could just look it up on social media. But anyway, I'll link you guys to it down below. But pretty much, he makes awesome t-shirts. Like, frog. He makes awesome frog t-shirts. Sorry about that. Uh, one of my favorite ones that I bought from him, it's a frog dressed like the It clown, from the movie It, and it's in the back. It says "We all croak down here," which is cute. And it's a really well designed T-shirt. You guys are not gonna agree. Just look up his website. He has a comic book shop. If you guys live around here, the Houston area, he's like maybe 20, 30 minutes away from Houston. Check it out if you're a nerd. But yeah, he sells some of his shirts right there. I think you can order it online. Great guy, support your local artists. It's just putting it out there. Also, I know for right now, most of the people listening to this are already close friends of mine because usually who I'm sharing it to. But just support my brother out over here. He's a great artist and needs to be appreciated more. Moving on, I decided to do one episode a week. I wanted to do two. I'm not gonna lie. When I first came with the idea, when I started doing it last week, I should do two a week. And I want to get there eventually. But I decided to slow down because I have this problem with my impulse decisions. I have this, it drove, when I went through a dark phase in my life, I was depressed and everything. It drove many of my mistakes came from impulse. Not mistakes, but the dumb shit that I did was because of impulse. I did things on impulse. I jumped at things. I jumped into projects. I jumped into buying things for a hobby that I was trying to get that I never really got into. It was something I probably never wanted to do. An example of that is a skateboard. I thought I wanted to learn how to skateboard. I put in like over $200 on this custom made skateboard, only for me to ride it around for a couple of weeks. Fell down a ramp one time, and I never got back on it again. I didn't think the pain was worth it. I said, fuck this. I haven't skated since. I've seen my skateboard around. I look at it and I was like, nah, never again. And yeah, that was the dumb shit that I did back then. It was on impulse. Uh, I feel like cause I've tried to start my own podcast a bunch of times and those decisions were also on impulse. And I always try to do a bit too much. And I just, I end up crashing and burning, sorry. So, I decided to take things slow. I'm doing this from my phone anyway. It's a bitch to edit, splice, and, upload to YouTube. I could use my laptop, but to be honest, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that. Well, not lazy. I know I'm gonna have to put more money into it. It's an old laptop, maybe like 8 years old now. I need to update the software, pretty much update everything, update the apps, everything. It's It's gonna be a hassle. I feel like for now, it's easier to do it on my phone. Once I feel like this is growing, or I feel like I need to up the quality, that's when maybe I'll decide to invest more on my laptop, or maybe even get a new one. Who knows? I know I'm gonna be doing this for a while. I know I want to do audio for a while. Like I said before, I'm trying to find this thing, this spark that's gonna, this personality. People tell me, be yourself, be yourself. This is me, but my voice and people tell me I sound too monotone. I understand. I don't know how to change that. I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'm trying to build something. I'm trying to build myself up to that level I want to get to. That's what I want to do with the audio. You guys know this. I explained that. I don't know why I had to say it again, but there you go. I said it again. Uh, so I wrote down a few things on my phone, or typed it on my notes. Uh, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I accidentally stopped recording. I didn't realize I have my phone in my pocket, so I had to go back into it. I had to listen to it again. Uh, Man, I'm breathing a lot. I'm sorry, guys. I'm breathing a lot. I decided to record this while I'm walking. I'm I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. I'm not gonna stop walking. I'm just gonna keep going. If my breathing is a problem, I'm sorry. Tune in next week when hopefully I'm not walking and I'm not breathing hard. Uh, anyway, here's a interesting idea that I want for this thing. I want music. Like, I wish I had like a little like button I could push so I put a little jingle in the background. How cool would it be having a little like, I don't know, jazzy beat in the background while I'm talking? Maybe I'm giving a monologue. Who knows? You know, that kind of noise, and I'm just smooth talking. I don't have a smooth voice. I know that, but that's just an idea that came to me. I want music for this podcast. I just want music in general because I just think it might add a little spice to it, and I want to try to experiment. That's something. But it led me into this deeper rabbit hole where it's just like I've been having this feeling to learn how to play an instrument, specific instrument, which I mentioned at Jazz B, the saxophone. I don't know. Well, I know why. Uh, I want to learn how to play a saxophone pretty much because my biological father, who I have no connection with whatsoever, he died before I could really have a chance to talk to him or anything. Uh, he came from a line of musicians. His grandfather, I mean, my grandfather, I guess his dad, was also a musician who played the saxophone. And my dad didn't get to meet his dad, but he knew that he played saxophone, so he learned saxophone in his honor. And I kind of want to follow that tradition. I don't know much about the guy. I know I probably wouldn't have liked him. Uh, from what I've heard stories for, there's a reason him and my mother weren't together. Uh, but at the same time, that's the, one of the things that I did like. That he was a musician, that to play saxo. That's something I kind of want to pass down if I ever end up having kids in the future, hopefully one day. So in order for that, I want to learn to play saxophone. So that's the rabbit hole that led me into that. I just want to learn how to play a saxophone. But then I come back to this idea about having the impulse idea that's mentioned earlier. Like I just do things on impulse, and sometimes I do things because like I feel like I should do them. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I don't know if I'm doing it because I want to do them. So that's for some reason that fucked with my head. I think I do want to do it, but I feel like I really won't know until I have the instrument and try to play with it. I probably don't have that gene in me that wants to, that's a good musician. But for some reason, I want to learn. I want to put into work. I want to put in that struggle because I feel I'm gonna like trying to learn an instrument. I don't know if that whole segment made sense. It made sense in my head when I talked about it. I mean, when I think about it. But I don't know if putting it in words made sense to you guys. Maybe it's just something that I'm gonna get. I don't know. Sorry about wasting. I don't know 3 minutes. I don't know how long I've been talking. 3 minutes. Oh, about that segment, not the whole podcast. I know it hasn't been 3 minutes. Uh, There's another thing. Nostalgia has been in my. Well, I've been nostalgic this whole past week after recording the podcast, and so are a couple of my friends from what they told me. Like again, I don't know. Well, I'm only sharing this to like my closest friends, people that I trust, acquaintances around me that I kind of want to hear criticism from. So that's probably who I sent the link to are those people, and which are all you're listening right now. But there's also probably some other people listening from whatever. Maybe one of you guys shared it. Maybe someone found it randomly, or someone's looking back from the future. For a reason. Uh, Although the video is public, I'm not trying to push the advertisement just yet. Like I said, I want to build these things up first. I want, I know maybe some of you already tuned out by this point. Some of you probably didn't make it this far. Maybe I'm just talking to myself at this point. But, I want to catch people's attention. I want to become someone you want to listen to, not someone who's a friend who sends you the link. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. I feel like I made that point several times this episode, last episode. I apologize, guys. I'm wasting your time. Boy, I shouldn't have not walked. I'm tired. It's a long golf course, guys. I'm sorry I'm doing this to y'all. Listening to my breathing. But yeah, back to the whole nostalgia thing. So yeah, a couple of you guys told me how it gave you nostalgia because, that didn't remember because of my podcast, but just took you back to around that time when I was starting my first podcast and how you guys, it took you back to around 2016 after 2015. I don't remember when that was, but yeah, took it to your time and gave you some nostalgia. So yeah, so in return, it made me nostalgic about just this podcast about, I don't know, like struggling in a weird way. I'm nostalgic about struggling, but struggling to something that I want. Does that make sense to you guys? Struggling to something that you want, like maybe it's a video game for you guys. Like, think about that video game that you like so much and you try your best to improve. Be better at the game. Like Call of Duty, if you were into that. You think about those memories, how you like, trying to figure things out. You kept going back at it, even though you died multiple times at first. You just kept at it, until you got better. So you got better than your friends. That type of struggle. That's kind of what I got nostalgic. I got nostalgic working towards something. I went to my my future father-in-law's house the other day, this past week, after I recorded the first podcast. And so a little history about my car troubles. I bought a car. Okay, so my first car, the first car I ever bought it from a coworker, a chef actually, when I worked at a grill. He gave me the car for free, $1,500. He didn't need it. He just said, I know you need a car because, you just got out of school, whatever. So I paid for $1,500 for that. It's a Mitsubishi Lancer, 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer. That was my first car. Now, sorry about that, guys. There's somebody over there talking. I'm not alone in this park. Kind of scared me. Anyway, yeah. First car, I did not take care of it. Hate to admit it. I know some of you men out there listening to me are cringing because you know what that means. I ain't doing no maintenance on it. I maybe changed the oil once or twice, the spark plugs once or twice. Other than that, nothing on it. Didn't check transmission fluid. Didn't check brake fluid. I didn't give it a proper tune-up like I should have as I went. And my timing belt ended up breaking. Which if you know anything about cars, it's a pretty bad thing. But, because the timing belt was for this Mitsubishi Lancer specific car. It pretty much ruined the whole engine. The car ends up giving up on me. I ended up selling it for parts, and I gave myself a new car, a 2006 Ford 500. Not the best car. Ford just doesn't have the best vision for making just regular cars. But it was mine. It was more money, and I was actually proud of that car because in my mind, it's like I'm actually gonna take care of this car. I'm gonna keep up with the oil change, transmission fluids, brake fluids, coolant, the whole thing. And I did. I did for a whole year. And something ended up happening to the car. Ended up breaking down on me, and they told me I had finished paying it off. I paid it off in a year. And they had told me that my transmission might be going out. So yeah, so I have no car. It happened around middle of the pandemic. Kind of lost my high-paying job I had at the time. So no car. I'm driving alone that my father-in-law gave me. Future father-in-law gave me. That's what I'm driving. So how does that feel with nostalgia, you say? Well, I haven't driven that car in over a year. And I visited over there, and I decided to start working on the car. I'm going to have some money coming in soon. And, I'm going to try to fix it. I want to get help from my friend, Junior, and my father-in-law. They're going to, two best mechanics that I know. And they're going to help me diagnose the problem. And I'm going to try to fix it. But it definitely took me to that time where, I was working for that car. I remember working for the car. I remember putting in the overtimes because I wanted to get it. I wanted to pay it off in less than a year. I don't like being in debt like that. So I was putting in the work. I'm talking about overtime. I had a second job. I was, no days off for a whole year, so I can buy that car. I bought it, and I missed that that reward, that hard work reward that I worked for this car, and I just being inside that car. I got inside the car. I took it for the test drive. Me and my father got it working just to check it up on again. It runs, but it doesn't accelerate properly, and it violently shakes. The engine violently shakes. That's the way I put it. But yeah, I took it, and just driving it, it just took me back to the time, that proud moment where I was like, oh, it's my car. I work for this. And then I started working on the car, actually working on it. Not how usually I took it to some mechanic and they work on it. My future father-in-law, however you want to take it. He's a mechanic. He's one of those guys who learned mechanic, through experience over the years, reading books, watching YouTube videos probably. He drove big 18 wheelers. He worked on those. He's one of those old school men who's just jack of all trades. He knows a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of carpentry, a little bit of everything, and a lot about cars. So he took it upon himself to teach me little and little about cars and working stuff like that, like on my fiance's car, working on the truck, doing oil change and all that. I'm starting to get this I'm starting to like the struggle. So when I was over there working on my car, and I worked on it a little bit just to get it running, because it's been sitting there for a year, I felt good. Like I said, it reminded me of that hard work, putting in work into something, because I haven't had that in a while. It made me nostalgic. I really enjoyed that feeling. So that's what I've been thinking about nostalgia. It's about, I actually liked that struggle. I don't like the struggle of working hard to pay bills, to pay your phone bill, to pay the light bill, to pay rent or mortgage, whatever. I don't like that struggle. That's a daily struggle, and people say you should be proud because you pay your bills, but I don't. I hate it. But I do like it when my work goes for something like that, something that it's a want, not a need. That's the most I guess I haven't done something for myself, so I haven't worked towards something for myself for a minute. And I think in our way, this podcast also. I'm starting to enjoy the struggle. I'm walking out here in the park, talking to myself, recording this podcast, and it's new. I've never done this before, and you guys probably hate me because I'm breathing a lot. We can't hear it because of the wind. Hopefully you can hear it, or otherwise you probably won't hear this, and I'm just talking to myself. But I'm enjoying this. I recorded before this an episode. I didn't think it was worth posting, so I deleted it. And I started walking to clear my head, and I started recording. And I like this feeling. It was nostalgic. It took me back, like a couple of friends said, to that simpler time where it was easier to work for one. When you're probably still living with your parents around the time. You could still have a full-time job and save your money for something that you wanted, or going to school maybe, or learning a new skill, video games, whatever you want to take it as. Yeah, that's it. Whoa, might take a seat, guys, recording this. Well, last thing I'm gonna talk about here, taking criticism. I wrote that down. Because of the last video I posted, of course. How did I put this? So, of course, a lot of you know, if you made it this far to the podcast, you all gave me some form of criticism. Now, I've always had trouble taking criticism. I don't know if that's a common thing, but I always hate it, like, when I didn't do good. Where criticism, I guess, is not negative, but, like, you take it as negative because they point out flaws, like big flaws. And I'm starting to learn to take it in more. I don't like it. I mean, I've always put myself out there like that to get criticism, and a lot of times I don't like it. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Before them, I sometimes did not even I didn't even listen. I was like, nah, they probably don't know what they're talking about. But I decided to change. I decided to take the criticism, no matter how much it hurts. And I started off with what my fiance said. Little things like some of you guys know, I want to do stand up. That's something that I've been trying to get to. And I still write jokes here and there. Usually when I write the joke, I kind of just how do I explain it? I kind of put it into a conversation, put the idea in a conversation. See if it's funny, see if I can get a laugh, see if I can see something I can work on. And then I try to tell that joke on stage if I get a chance, or, write a joke to perform on stage. The criticism my girlfriend gave me, or my fiance, I'm sorry, was that I try to explain the joke too much. I explain as I go, which is funny because I always hate it when I had to explain a joke to somebody, like a pun or something, I'm sorry, because I feel like explaining it killed the joke. When you dissect the joke and see what makes it funny, it makes it not funny. And so, yeah, so pretty much that's what I was doing. And I hated that criticism because, again, it was something that I always pointed out on people, and then it was something I've been doing all along. So that hurt, hear that. But I had to, listen to her, yep. I mean, she's not a comedian, she's not into, that stand-up world, but she has a point. I'm explaining my joke too much to the point where, it's not funny anymore. And that ended up with the criticism you guys have been giving me. I don't like it sometimes, but I have to take it. If I want to grow, I have to take the criticism, and I have to get better. And that's where I'm at, I guess. That's where I'm going to end this episode. Hopefully, it's something I can post. I'll listen through it later. Before I go, I want to try something here. It's about your mental health. Yeah, your mental health. It's been a tough year this past year. A lot of you had to stay at home, maybe face your demons, whatnot. Maybe the whole political situation made you really paranoid, or made you scared of the future, or something like that. Or maybe something you always had. Maybe you always had this anxiety, this dreadful feeling for a while that it just seems like an everyday thing. It's your mental health. It's I myself have gone through it. I know a lot of friends have gone through it, and it's tough. So just here to let you know that it doesn't have to be that way. There are people out there who care about you. I care about you. People who will listen. It doesn't have to be a specialist, although it'd be better if it was a specialist, some kind of psychiatrist, some counselor. But a lot of people can't afford it. I understand that, but it doesn't mean you can't talk to people. People care. People care more than you think. You just gotta speak up, and that's probably one of the hardest things to do. But I'm just here to tell you that it's okay to ask for help sometimes. Hopefully, this changes your mind. Maybe you reach out to somebody. I don't know. I decided to start. I decided to end my episodes like this. As a fellow YouTuber, I listen to who ends his videos like this, and I think that's admirable. I hope a lot of more people do this. He always talks about mental health, and it should be talked more. It should not be stigmatized as it's been, and it's slowly changing. But I'm just doing my part. So take care, guys. Remember, someone cares. You can talk to somebody, and hopefully, I'll get better at my messages. That sounded, I don't know. I don't know how I felt about that, but definitely gonna keep doing it. Take care, guys. See you next week.